boy story, by the way. I like writing boys. Lots of decapitations, and body parts, and awesomeness. And since it's two armies of the dead, they're unstoppable. They can get their hand cut off, stick it back on, and keep on fighting. Total Armageddon. And if humans get in the way, they die. So the humans pray to the gods to stop these monsters. And the gods take the whole battlefield and plunge it down into the underworld. Except the gods miss two zombies. One is helping his brother limp off the battlefield, just as the ground under their feet starts to collapse. Interruption. Wait, Bryce calls out. What do you mean, limp off the battlefield? I thought they repaired themselves right away, not getting the zombie physiology recovery system here. Well, Kai explains, the more you get your limb severed, the longer it takes, okay? You get into overload and can't keep up. Actually, the way it works is that if you get completely hacked up and scattered, that's it for you. So if you start losing body parts, you either need to get to a calm place to recover, or you need a body brother to share his parts with you. The guys go nuts over this idea. Ooh, body brother, tell us how that works. Like, if you have serious losses and can't regrow your arm, a body brother can cut off his arm and save you, and you do the same for him. He continues. Okay. Anyhow, part swapping's what these two brothers had done for each other for years and years. Ark and Palom weren't brothers while living, and maybe they even came from countries that used to be at war against each other. Who knows? But by now, as zombies, they share the same flesh, the same smell. After countless battles together, they only made it through this last one by luck. But since there are only two of them, Ark and Palom are no match for the human army that pours in, now that things are safe for humans. The president imprisons the two zombies for scientific study. The lab guys run tests on the zombie brothers to figure out how they work, and the zombies remain prisoners, but they bear it the best they can. Everything changes when they see a gorgeous girl helping out in the lab. She works on the other side of the glass, doing something with test tubes. They don't know it yet, but this is Emily, the president's daughter. She wants a career in science rather than politics, so she works at the lab after school. Ark puts his hands on the glass and Palom touches his heart. They are totally stunned by the beauty of this warm-blooded young woman. Falling in love is the happiest moment of their unlives, but then things start to go wrong. You shouldn't be in love, Palom says. A true brother would stand aside when his brother is in love, and I love her. I saw her first, Ark throws back, and I'm not going to tell you to stand aside. We both love her, but we can't both have her. So we'll just have to let her choose. This is the first time the brothers have a falling out. They've been warriors, bonded together for ages, but it just takes one girl to change everything. Interruption. I don't get it, Allison cuts in. She's on the other side of the glass, so what are they fighting over? Over her, Bryony blurts out. This is a pure power struggle, Kai adds. They're fighting over the right just to want her, even if it's hopeless. Continues. Month after month, they pine for Emily, who works in the labs all the time, but still has nothing to do with them. It's a bitter and long year for the zombies, imprisoned, hopelessly in love, and no longer brothers at heart. Then, unexpectedly, a zombie delegate arrives and negotiates to release one prisoner, just Ark, not Palom. So Ark is free to go to the underworld, only he can't leave Emily. So he disguises himself and becomes one of the lab employees. Keeping out of Palom's sights, Ark works near Emily for years, never revealing his love or the secret of his identity. When a fire destroys the labs, Palom escapes in the commotion. He'd been watching Emily all these years too, and he's dying to marry her. He plans to go to the underworld, raise an army, and freak the hell out of the president until he wins Emily's hand in marriage. But Palom has a big shock when he smacks into Ark on his way out of DC. The brothers stare each other down with their mismatched eyes because even those body parts were shared. And they start to fight. I mean really fight. They draw blood, but they aren't stopping there. It's like they want to cut off all the body parts that they've shared all these years, even if it kills them both. Because killing your body brother is pretty much your own death sentence, with no chance to be revived. All the commotion brings out the army, and the president, and Emily too. Emily identifies them as the lab zombies, and this becomes the moment of truth for Ark and Palom. Ark confesses his love for Emily, and the reason why he stayed and disguised himself. The president is seriously grossed out. Then Palom tells the president, "Go ahead and kill both of us, but kill Ark first, so I know he'll never have Emily." The president orders the execution, but Emily breaks into tears. She can't believe her dad would execute them just for being zombies. "They have no choice in being that way," she cries. "But they love you," her dad says. "That's not a crime either," she tells him. "I won't let anyone die because of me." The president, who looks a lot like Mr. Bailey, the teacher, says, "Okay, we'll have them compete in the American way, on live television, with cool obstacle course features and costume designs. The winner of the duel will get Emily's hand in marriage." Emily's eyes bug out. How about just a date, Dad? And then we'll see how it goes?" The president raises an eyebrow. Clearly, that's not an option, and so the duel is planned. The television slot is scheduled, and lots of publicity goes into it. All the big Super Bowl Sunday advertisers and so on. There are just 3 people not caught up in all the hype. They're only thinking of their heart's desires. Ark prays to his favorite god that he'll win the duel. Palom prays to his favorite god that he'll marry Emily. Emily prays to her favorite goddess that no one will get killed, and also that she won't end up marrying anyone. But Emily's prayers are denied. The players take their places. Ark isn't dressed in street clothes anymore. He's in a blue and silver outfit cut to show his muscular blue-black flesh. Palom wears red and gold to distinguish them, since their bodies are almost identical. When the gun goes off, they start running all over the set, each zombie looking for a weapon that can snuff out the other. The rules are that they can't kill each other outright, but they have to make the other surrender. And to make a zombie surrender pretty much means cutting him open and taking out all his guts. Ark scores a lucky break, though. Palom gets his foot stuck in a pipe, and it's pretty easy for Ark to cut him through at the hip with a machete. Palom hops around, trying to fight back, but he's weaponless and missing a leg, and then an arm, and so on. So Palom has to surrender. Ark rejoices in his big victory and flashes a smile at Emily up in the stands. But his moment of triumph is short. Maybe it was the prayers, or maybe it was all the media hype, but one of the underworld gods had learned about the duel. Invisible to all and bearing his poisonous blade, the god slashes at all Ark's organs at once. Ark turns purple, and black blood comes pouring out of his ears. Even Palom, missing an arm and a leg, isn't nearly as wounded. In fact, with some help from the pit crew bringing him his parts, Palom's arm and leg are already reattaching themselves, enough that he can crawl to Ark's side. Even though he's lost Emily, Palom has eyes only for Ark. To see Ark near death brings out all the old memories of saving and being saved. Palom pleads, "What do you need? Tell me what part and I'll give it to you." But Ark shakes his head. He speaks with difficulty. "Emily, where is she?" Palom realizes Ark only wants to speak to his beloved, not to him, and it cuts him in a way he's never felt before. Emily pushes her way through the crowds and throws herself at Ark. She cries, "No, Ark, please, don't die." Ark takes Emily's hand into his purple fingers and musters up the strength for speech. "Emily, the gods are calling me to hell. I'm sorry I'll never get to know you, to love you as I wanted to. But if you are looking for a good man, please consider Palom. He was the truest brother I ever had. It was only our love for you that shook up our love for each other." Then he gasps, as if he can't speak anymore. Hearing this, Palom rushes to Ark's side and holds the body he knows like his own. "Tell me what part you need," he begs. "Tell me, I can save you." But Ark fades fast and dies in Palom's embrace. Palom weeps a long time, and the eye that once was Ark's weeps as much as his own. Everyone waits to hear what will happen next, but Kai says, "That's all, folks," and we burst into applause. The popular crowd gets all fist bumpy, and everyone wants to tell Kai he's good, but can't because Rooster and Bryce, and especially Franklin, are hogging Kai up. Franklin's been relatively quiet so far, like it's so demeaning being in an icky bus when he could be lounging in his 3,500 square foot mansion. But now he seems resigned to roughing it for the weekend. He spreads himself out with Mouse curling into him, all the while chatting alpha male style with Kai. Mari, fellow rider and semi-rival, calls out loudly over everyone's heads, "So Jeff, what did you think?" She smiles at me, her face framed by that beanie she's worn all winter. It's like a switch turned off everyone's chatter. I do that flinching, "You mean me?" look, as if she meant a different Jeff. Kai moves his head so Franklin isn't in his way, and everyone's waiting to hear what I, the future famous writer, will say. I am not the best at speaking to a whole bus full of people. You should be a writer, I tell him. His eyebrows crawl up his face, and he still looks impossibly cool. Really? I was wondering if the brother thing was cheesy, if I should have kept it a love story. I didn't even fill in if Palom marries Emily. The brother thing just took over. I can see he really wants me to answer. The brother theme was the best part. It was an unexpected way to resolve the love triangle, and zombies were perfect. I mean, they were made to fight. And once you see them fighting each other over love, it really captures how hard it is for these guys just to live a normal life after all that war. He gives a chill little nod, but I catch some hint of pain and sorrow in his eyes and the set of his mouth. Thanks, I appreciate that. And then Bryony flings her arms around him. I turn and see Pard with his sketchbook. When Pard sketches from life, he pins his object with a lion stare, and I was surprised Kai didn't notice or get thrown by it. Now he's finishing up with a few scattered pencils in his lap, and for an instant, I see the portrait. It's beautiful. Not just because it looks like Kai, though it does. It's shaded right to get his dark skin, has the powerful but streamlined build, the cheekbones and the short black hair, the strong hands hanging loose at his knees. But what takes my breath away is the look on Kai's face. It's that haunted look he gave to Mr. Bailey when he asked if he'd have to tell his life story. Pard captured the story behind the story, and somehow I know it's Kai's soul, put down on a piece of paper. Pard claps the book shut and glares at me, not the artist's stare, the glare he gives when he wants to erase you. You're good, I mutter, because he deserves to hear it. I am, he says back. Then he reopens his book and looks at me sideways, dropping his voice. You know about his brother, right? I shake my head, and he draws in a bit of background. The vet. I scrunch my eyes. He helps animals? He pins me with a look that makes me feel childish. The veteran. At 18, you're this brave hero going out to help your country. Out there, things happen around you, to you. You get hurt inside and outside. For the pain, they get you hooked on Vicodin, OxyContin, morphine, whatever. Before you know it, you're dumped back, just 19 years old and spent. And to feed your addiction, you get hooked on heroin. Forget the hero thing. Now, everyone wonders, what the hell is wrong with you? It doesn't take long.